we'll start with our presentation of funding applications. We'll start with the South Dakota ATA State Trap Shoot Tournament. And Mr. Upbrook, Jerry, you want to come up to that microphone, please? Tell us what you got going.
I remember you.
I remember you too. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. The South Dakota State ATA tournament will be here July 9 through 13. It comes here every third year. It rotates between Sioux Falls, Mitchell, and Aberdeen. And we hear now that Rapid City is building a facility, so it'll probably end up being once every 4 years in the near future. Wednesday of the state shoot is entitled the Gun Club Day, in this case the Mitchell Gun Club Day. And as a result, we are responsible for all expenses on that day. From that day forth, the state is responsible for the majority of the expenses. And what we are requesting is help with the awards on that day. We give really nice awards. And as a result, when our Gun Club Day exceeded Sioux Falls in attendance last year, and that's highly unusual, partly because they draw from Minnesota and Iowa much more than what we do. So at any rate, our return, we will have flyers all over our gun club to recognize the Sports Authority donation. As we present the awards, we will also recognize the Sports Authority as being responsible for the quality of those awards, and they are quite nice awards. So other than that, we hope to have a great shoot. We expect at least 250 shooters and lots and lots of crowds that they bring with them. And they're here for 5 days. So it's a big event. So with that, that's all I have to say.
Okay. You mentioned 5 days. Do all the shooters stay, or is it a couple of days and...
There are some there are quite a few that stay the entire. Yeah, there's a dedicated group that they shoot all 5 days.
Wow.
There certainly are some that come for just for example, the state singles championships are on Saturday. There are some people that, of course, come just for that event, but there's quite a large number of them that are die-hard trap shooters. They shoot everything.
Okay. What's your guess for numbers of shooters based on maybe what you had last time?
Well, we expect at least 250.
Okay.
We had roughly that amount. We had 1 day of crappy weather, and the fair weather shooters, they don't show up on crappy days. But hopefully with good weather, we'll have anywhere from 200 to 250 on any given day.
A lot of times they bring their wives with, and the wives stay in the hotel and stuff that way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they do.
So is this the same event you had when you had Bud Bartholow come back for that trap shoot thing? This was a totally different thing?
Oh, yeah. No, that was for our high school trap shooting team.
Okay, all right.
The Bartholows did a clinic.
Yeah.
Not just for our kids. It was for an area.
And that was during the winter, because I can remember being snow out there sometimes.
Yeah. So.
Any other questions for Jerry?
So Jerry, do they qualify to move on if they do well here? This is the state shoot, so that they qualify to go to the regional?
No. The state shoot does not qualify for anything beyond. They certainly can go to the nationals and all that, but this does not qualify for anything.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay, very good.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here.
Thanks. All right, next up, South Dakota Golf Association Adult Junior and Junior Championships. Eric Heeb.
Eric Heeb with Lakeview Golf Course. This year, Lakeview plays host to the SCGA Adult Junior and Junior Championship. It's July 19th through the 20th, the practice round, which a lot of participants come play in the practice round on July 19th. And then the Adult Junior tournament is just on Sunday, July 20th, and then the Junior Championship follows that. Last year, they had 252 participants in the adult junior. That's parents come with their kids, and then most of the kids that play in that adult junior play in the junior championship. There's 2 full days of it. Monday and Tuesday is where it's all age groups, like 9 and under, 10 to 11, 12, 13, and up to 18 years old. And then the final day, which is Wednesday, is just the older kids, the 16 to 18-year-olds stay for that extra day on that. As of right now, I was informed the adult junior sign up. Obviously, we're still about a month away here, but there were 138 participants signed up for the adult junior and 118 signed up for the junior championship. I know after this year, the adult junior is actually going to go to a 2-day event because it's getting so big. So I'm assuming we'll be upwards of 250 plus again. We have hosted many STGA events. We always strive at Lakeview, from Jason Canary, the superintendent, myself, my staff, his staff, to put on the best possible state tournaments. 2 years ago, we hosted the STGA men's and women's amateur. These events are all rotating throughout the state to 18-hole courses. We got slated this year for that. The funds that are requested today, those help with all the volunteers you need to run a state event, all the extra staffing you need, the extra work that needs to be put in to give all these participants coming through from all over the state, basically, the best possible state championship, especially here with the junior championship. These are the kids that are going to be playing in the STGA state men's amateur, women's amateur, the 2-man and stuff. So we just strive to do that. And with all the hype around golf right now and how busy the golf world is, we want to put on the best state tournament possible. That's all I have for kind of a background on the SDJ events that have come through.
Yeah. That has nothing to do with that weekend, but I'm guessing you're going to see a lot of those people come in and do practice rounds prior to that too. That'll be
correct. Yeah, there'll be parents coming in with their kids. They make almost, the ones especially that stay till Wednesday, they make a full week vacation per se out of it, where they're coming in early on Saturday morning, doing their practice round, hanging out at Lakeview, and then they are obviously competing in the championship the next 4 days. So,
Eric, are you okay with putting up the Sports Authority banners out there?
Yep.
So you'll get with Aaron and
Yep.
organize that?
100%.
No fighting.
yeah.
We haven't done that since we were probably 12 years old.
Anything else? All right, I think we're good. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it. All right, we will move on. Minutes of the May 20th meeting.
So moved. Second.
So moved by Kevin, second by Brian. Any other further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approval of minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Financial report.
We have Sports and Events Authority financials. This is year-to-date as of June 2nd. These are included in your packet that you have as well. The current expenses that checks have been written and distributed for 2025 is $68,750, which would leave a fund balance of $81,250. Based on last meeting's award and approval for Special Olympics State Basketball, those amounts have been adjusted to $12,000 for 2026 and 2027, and that'll come out of each year's respective financials. We have 2 events that were awarded last meeting that the checks have not been cut yet. That was the Palace City Cup was awarded $5,000, and then the South Dakota Women's State Slow Pitch Softball Tournament $2,500. Then that would leave the SEA committee with a current available fund balance of $73,750. Our total bid for collections by month, this was what was submitted and collected in May for the month of April, $20,504, and we're still working with one establishment to get their collections. This is year-to-date collections through May, $91,349. That equates to 45,675 room nights. We have a year-to-date room nights comparisons to 2024. We're up 1.4%, which is 653 room nights. 2023, we're up 4.3%, which is 1,953 room nights. 2022, we're up 1.1%, which is 494 room nights. 2021, up 15.8%. 2020, up 21.3%. And 2019, up 12%.
Any questions? Just for my own curiosity with you motel folks here, what are you expecting for the summer? Are you hearing anything?
It's been busy. Jerry
For-
keeps wondering if it's going to slow down or how the economy is going to be affected, but it hasn't.
Not so, yeah.
I'm the slowest one on the block, and I'm having almost 25% increase over last year.
Gas prices are good. That's for sure.
The only thing I've noticed is they're not making reservations more than 30 days out. It's a lot of walk-in traffic, last-minute reservations, but our occupancy is good.
Good.
And I guess just a little feedback, the number is still impressive as far as collections, but compared to last year, we did host last April the state open bowling tournament. So that was probably had some significant
That's right.
part of that. We had the open bowling tournament, and then Tempo had their 2-day soccer tournament as well.
And that bowling tournament covered what, 5
So
weekends?
five or six weekends.
6 weekends, yeah. I'm sure that was a biggie. Any other questions? I would entertain a motion to approve the financial report.
I'll make a motion to approve.
LaRue, second. Brian? Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Evaluation forms, Aaron?
Okay, one evaluation form and financial that was submitted. This was for the 15th annual DWU Futsal Classic Indoor Tournament that was hosted February 21st through the 23rd. That happened again to fall on the same weekend as Mitchell being awarded the state swim meet. So the event did, I guess, state that the expectations of the event was a 2. Additional feedback. Again, I communicate with them on probably monthly basis. I know they just reached out. They're promoting and have their July youth summer camp here, the 2 weekends in July, but they're thankful and grateful to the SEA for the support of their events. Again, they're just stated it as a 2 because of two high-profile events happened to fall on the same weekend. Spectator attendance for that event, 2,000 to 2,500. Over 600 soccer players. They came from South Dakota, North Dakota, Nebraska, Minnesota, Iowa, and Wisconsin. Their estimation of hotels was below 20. Next year's event, we did confirm that this will not fall on the weekend of the state, I believe, State B meet for swim meet in February. So they're February 20th through the 22nd, 2026. SEA awarded $3,500. Those were used towards referee costs. They did provide a thorough profit and loss statement. Overall net profit of the event, $13,089.15. Again, DW men's and women's soccer fundraiser, and was split between the two programs. And that's what we have for that one.
Okay. You want to do?
I can just move right in, play easy. Again, just more kind of numbers review. This is year to date, current as far as what's within the platform. So there's, as of today, 744 event organizers that are able to submit RFPs throughout the country. There's 323 destinations that compete and market for those RFPs. Currently, today, within the entire marketplace, there's 200 RFPs. Again, not all of them match or suit Mitchell Sports and Events and Mitchell, South Dakota. Our profile activity, we're up to 61 unique visitors that have viewed our profile for 1,268 views. Our facilities have been viewed by 27 visitors for 253 views. The Corn Palace is still at top with 11 visitors for 34 views. We've had 29 SEA awarded events, and the microsites have been created on here for them. And they have been viewed 379 visitors by 1,442 total views. They've clicked on registration links to take them to the registration page for that specific event 38 times. Ticketing clicks have been 31 times. The DW Culver's Girls and Boys Classic continues to be at the top for the most viewed event microsite. 47 unique visitors for 147 views. And then since last meeting in May, we have not had any RFPs that have matched Mitchell, South Dakota. We've had 181 RFPs that have matched. We've passed on 178. We're still greatly interested in working with Mitchell Soccer Association and Scott Mullenmeister, hopefully for 2026 to try to get a 5v5 soccer. And then again, just to, I guess, share a little bit. So these were, let's see. I want to say the Scent Work Trials, the Cheer and Dance Championships, Disc Dog Challenge, and then a basketball are the new RFPs since our May meeting. The Cheer and Dance requests, or the RFP requires bigger square footage, bigger facility than we can provide. Some RFPs ask for within a certain distance of a major city or a club of theirs. The Disc Dog asks for within 500 miles of Georgia, Atlanta. And the basketball event, they need up to 1,500 hotel room nights per event. And there hasn't been any hotel bookings through our platform yet.
Okay, any other questions on that? Yep.
Joined that in January.
Yep, so I think middle of December is when we were kind of created, per se. And then they left after the bid floor board approved it. They just left our site open. But yes, payment or subscription payment was for January 1st for the fiscal year.
On a side note, the billboard for Bike Party,
Pre-Sturgis?
Pre-Sturgis Party, I actually had two guests come in and ask questions about it and started looking it up because it was sitting out there. So what you're doing with those is good too.
Yep, so we have 15 Pre-Sturgis Party yard signs. I want to say strategically placed. Majority are in hotels up next to the doors. We have one also out at Lakeview Golf Course, one at the First and Burr Loop, one right at the crosswalk here between the Corn Palace and Bradley's. And then, yeah, like I said, some strategically placed, I think 8 or 9 hotels throughout the city as well. And posters will come out here just before the 4th. We'll have event banners. We've been utilizing digital billboards. Graham had an ad up for the last couple of weeks, and then we'll utilize Graham's again, and then the Sanborn digital billboard as we get closer to it.
Okay. Dave mentioned the bid board, if you recall, was the bid board that approved the spending of the money for the Play Easy. And I believe we meet either next week or the week, is it next week? or the
Next
week after?
Wednesday, June 18th.
18th, okay. So if there's anything this group wants to ask of the bid board, which is the group of motel owners, you can let me know, obviously Dave know, or if you got something you want discussed, right?
Yeah, I'm not on the board, no.
No. But
We
you're
are.
always sitting right on it.
Was it 5,000?
Yeah, 5,000 for a 1 year.
Yeah,
So
4,995.
we're good for a year, right?
Yeah, and I
That
think
was
the
good.
original thought was even if we get one event in a year, it's easily pays for itself. So halfway through a year, I guess we don't have any success
Yeah.
yet, but there's still time.
I mean, even if you could land that 2026.
Right, the soccer,
that'd
and
be-
then again, the AJGA, that's at American Junior Golf. That would be either late spring or early fall. Once we get, again, we need Wild Oak to be up to be able to have some openings at either course as far as the pace of play.
Yeah, and Aaron's definitely put a lot of effort into this program, more than anyone I could ever imagine. So I think we're working at the system like it's supposed to be worked. So
Yep.
Thank you.
You see upcoming events, did you want to say anything about that or just?
Yeah, I'll just highlight, there's 4 of them, 3 of them this weekend that were awarded Sports and Events Authority funding. June 12th through the 15th, we have the Powderhorn Ranch Regulators, their Outlaw Gauntlet Shoot at the Mitchell Gun Club. The Palace City Cup, June 14th and 15th at the Pepsi Cola Soccer Complex. It looked like I did send an email to the committee. They're up to 29 teams. They added a 18 under or 18U team. We have the first annual Blarney's Amateur Baseball Classic, June 14th on Saturday at Cadwell Park Stadium. And then the following Saturday, Palace City Mountain Bike Classic, Saturday, June 21st, Lake Mitchell Bike Trails and Camp Arroyo. Mitchell Chamber Events and the Mitchell, South Dakota Events Facebook page, updated daily. And if there's any event flyers that you'd like posted on there, you can email them to me.
I should mention, along with the amateur baseball, you've got the Harves.
The Harves is this weekend. and
Brian
then-
Wilson out there too. That'll be played on the softball diamonds and then the amateurs on Cadwell. So there'll be a lot of people out there.
I think we've got 32 teams for the Harv Johnson Brian Wilson tournament. We had 42 teams for the early birds. We were hoping for a few more in this one, but that's where we're at right now. So, and then we have the. I'm sure Mitchell baseball will be here at the next meeting, but we have the big Class A state youth tournament the third weekend in July. I know it always falls on the same weekend as the rodeo and everything, but we do have that this year. So Mitchell baseball will have all that information next time.
Is that every other year now? In
What's that?
that tournament, is that every other year?
No, we actually had it. We actually had it 6 years in a row,
Right.
and then it went to Brandon Valley for a year, and we've got it again in 2026 and 2027. They have not awarded it beyond there. You know, we're hoping, and I mean, you know, the facility over in Brandon Valley is a really nice facility, but
Parking
it's
sucks.
but it's not very accommodating for
Mhm.
people because the parking is bad and it's a gravel parking lot, and their grandstand seats 250 and we seat 900, and their restroom facilities don't match. So I don't know what kind of feedback they'll get from the fans with the experience here. They also have an all turfed infield they play on, which means they won't be rained out, but which also means it'll be hotter than hell in July and August, which is not a good thing. So we've kind of learned that with the turf at Cadwell. But no, we what we didn't. So we're working on the field this fall, but I mean, it's not because we're working on the field that they went to Brandon Valley. They went to Brandon Valley because they wanted to do something different. So we took advantage of the fact that it wasn't going to be here. And so when baseball is done in Mitchell on like July 20th, we'll start with the dugout project, and then we'll start with the renovation of the field. But no, I don't think it's anything to be taken that they weren't happy with anything in Mitchell, why they left. It was just that every once in a while they want to go we're hoping to have it 4 out of 5 years. That's the hope. So
And it's not a bad idea to have a break every Exchange Club
No.
people and everybody else.
Wasn't the bees like in Salem last year?
no, everything was a Cadwell.
Everything was a catwalk.
Well, the Class A tournament always starts someplace different, and then 5 Class A teams come to Mitchell the final weekend of the tournament.
You're talking state amateur or the
No,
youth?
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, the youth tournament?
Was it in
Yeah.
Alec?
It was in Brandon Valley last year.
Yeah.
I think I honestly think we're on a 2-1, 2 here and 1 in Brandon Valley thing. I
Right,
could be wrong though, but people like it. People like it here. I mean, they love the tournament here because you can park in one parking lot and walk to a fourplex over here and a fourplex. So if you have a 9U son playing over here and a 12U son playing over here, you don't have to drive all around town. You stay right there. So I'm pretty sure. So at least we're going to have it every other year, and I think we're going to have it 2 out of every 3 years, the way it sounds. And that tournament is also the situations that it's also Sturgis Week and all that kind of stuff, and we understand all that, but we have to go with when they have it. So
And on the baseball or softball line, last meeting we did approve those women's slow pitch 2,500,
We did, yes.
and they were okay with that and everything. Anything? Any feedback?
There hasn't been any feedback. Still communicating. Just she needs to fill out a funding award form. That's why the check hasn't been cut yet. The soccer one will be cut Monday night, June 16th, and distributed to them. I just wanted to piggyback a little bit on the events here with the Play Easy. So again, it's kind of a sports and events Facebook page. Again, you're able to create posts that, again, the event organizers and the destinations are able to see. This was a post created at the beginning of this week, and it does just give a little insight to the variety that Mitchell, South Dakota can host. The Highland Conference Center hosting, looks like about a 4-day conference there. Association of Assessing Officers, a little insight into what the Highland Conference Center is connected to, the Hampton Inn, the Comfort Inn and Suites, Powder Run Ranch regulators, a little bit about their Outlaw Gauntlet shoot, getting Lakeview Golf Course in there as well with the Chamber Classic. Also Friday night we got Great Cause Mitchell Heart and Soul Cancer Walk at Hitchcock, and then Cadwell Sports Complex and the Cadwell Park Stadium. Again, the Harv Johnson Brian Wilson Memorial Tournament, as well as the Blarney's Amateur Baseball Classic. We got the Palace City Cup at the Pepsi Soccer Complex. Archaeology Day, Saturday at the Village. Mitchell Area Community Theater. Elvis Tribute Saturday night. So again, kind of just a way for us to market the different facilities we have, and I guess get some exposure out there.
But there's nothing to do in Mitchell. That's amazing.
did you guys have traffic from the Lowell Orang tournament this week? I mean, I know it's a 2-day deal, and you did have some good turnout for that.
We were packed.
Oh, you were really? That's good to hear. I was out there probably like 2 hours on Saturday and an hour on Sunday, and people love being at Cadwell Park. I mean, the umpires love it because they can go to the tournament headquarters building, and it's air conditioned and refrigerator and shower if they want to shower and stuff. And then the staff provides them with golf carts so they can take their golf cart to the different fields, so they're not around fans all the time. They get away from it. So the umpires love it and the coaches love it. I mean, everybody I talk to, I mean, the only complaint I ever hear is bathrooms on the 2 fourplexes. That's it. Everybody else is happy with everything.
Kevin's shaking his head. He knows.
That's not a surprise, is it?
Like not enough or what?
They're old.
Oh, they're really.
Plastic works.
They're old and they're small. I mean, you could tell it was a women's tournament because the line in the women's bathroom was probably seriously 20 people deep most of the time.
How old are they?
And the complex went in. The original fourplex. I used to know all this, but the original fourplex went in maybe in the early 80s. We had to build that because of the popularity of slow pitch softball. They didn't have diamonds to play in time because slow pitch softball just ballooned and was huge. And so that's when the city built that fourplex. And then several years later, they built the other fourplex on the other side. But the one, I mean, the bathrooms are probably, I'm guessing, at least 30 years old. That'd be a fair figure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And they are not great facilities.
I mean, there's no way that they can budget for new ones.
So there's money in the budget to remodel them, which is going to be an upgrade. But building new ones,
Band-Aid.
we got a contractor's quote to replace the one over at Drake last year. It was in the 200 range. So
Just the one over at that's really.
right.
What are they built out of concrete?
They're blocked.
Yeah, they're blocked.
So it's blocks, yeah.
But like when I drag race all over the country, they throw 30 or 40 plastic peanuts all over the place for the overflow. Do you guys do that out at the stadiums when there's a ton of people? Bring
On occasion, there's a few extra out there,
Because,
but,
I mean-
there's not a lineup of 10 on each site. No.
They're
well,
not
I
a
mean,
fun. They're not a fun place when it's
No, they're
95
not. But
degrees.
it'll serve. a purpose.
Yeah, oh, I understand.
You know, big events like that, I've been to concerts where they bring in a trailer.
Yeah.
And they're nice
Washing
bathrooms.
station.
Yeah, I know what you're
Yeah,
saying.
bring them in for big events or something, I don't know.
Yeah, but the upgrades don't change the size.
What's that?
I say upgrading the small remodeling cost we have this year built in doesn't upgrade the size of the facilities.
No.
It's-
What does it have? New toilets and walls and separators?
I think I think it's you can have 3 ladies in there at one time. I think. Am I right? That's it.
And last year, I heard there was one of them plugged. They wanted to close it down and go in there and work with that, but the ladies didn't want it closed down, so that created kind of a ruckus and which
I
made the
remember
line
that.
longer. And
I remember that. It was. Yeah, it's not a major upset if they plug up. That's not a surprise because that's happened several times.
there was one point last year, I believe, where there was a cable, internet cable had been buried underground and
bored through a pipe.
bored
Oh, really?
and they got that fixed though, so it's no longer.
That would hold up paper goods.
So it's all one building. I mean, the concession stand is there. The room for the groundkeepers, the drags and stuff like that, that's there. And then both the men's and women's bathroom are all in the one deal that are right in the center of the fourplex. So it's one building that accommodates a lot of things, and it's not big enough for concessions. It's not big enough for bathrooms, and storage for park and rec isn't bad, but it's not big enough for any of those.
I'm gonna say that building is not a whole lot bigger than around this table right here
Yeah.
with concessions and bathrooms around it. Yeah. Any other discussion? Otherwise, we're ready to go into executive.
Motion and a second.
All right, we need a motion to go into executive session.
Motion?
Motion by Dave,
Second.
second by Jim. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.